Welcome back in one of the Bear Struggle Plays YouTube channel. Today is Wednesday, November 20th, and we're going to keep looking at some action on a Wednesday night, looking at a doubleheader. We have Ohio going up against Toledo, then we're going to look at Buffalo going up against Eastern Michigan. Both these games have significant meaning. I'm going to have a double game breakdown and a couple player props as well. Before we get into those plays, let's take a look at the plays from Tuesday night. We currently have going Akron minus 9.5. Going up against Kent State. Nothing has started yet. It's only 5:34 Central Time, so these games have a little bit until we start. Just recording extra early because I wanted to make sure I got to watch that Cavaliers game starting at 6:10. It should be a great game. We also have Miami, Ohio, minus 2.5. Now it's minus 1.5, so going in the wrong direction, but I still think Miami, Ohio is going to win this game. Win this game pretty easily. They have to win this one. We have Reggie Virgil over 43.5 receiving yards in that one. And then Marion Lukes, Central Michigan, going up against Western Michigan, over 80.5 rushing yards as the final play of the night. So those plays have not started yet. But we're going to take a look at Wednesday's plays. We have a big game here. Ohio going up against Toledo, a pair of teams with 7 wins, 3 losses. Ohio has the most to lose because they're currently tied at the top of the MAC conference. But Toledo, if they win this game, they could potentially still make that MAC title game. We have Toledo, Buffalo, and Western Michigan all tied with 4 wins, 2 losses. We did have Bowling Green, Miami, Ohio, and Ohio. Those guys are all tied at the top with 5 wins, only 1 loss. So we have potential for this to be a wild week number 8 for conference play because all these teams still have 2 games left. So it could be coming down to the last week for the MAC conference. The play is going to be Ohio on the money line. I know that Toledo's playing for their lives to try to get to that MAC title game, but Ohio's the better team. Ohio is so far this season 27.6 points per game, nearly 400 total yards of offense. The defense has been really good as well this season, 19.6 points per game. I just don't see them dropping this game. If they lose this game, they could potentially not be in the title game. Parker Navarro has been playing some really great quarterback play, dual threat guy. He can throw, he can run. Ohio does have a pretty balanced attack with their running game because their quarterback, he loves to run. They have a guy on the outside as well, Coleman Owen. He can go for 100-plus yards any game. This Toledo team, they are good, 29.9 points per game. Nearly the same stats offensively for both of these teams. The defense is a little bit worse than Ohio, 21.1 points per game, but this should be an overall great game. Both these teams are very similar. I just think the Ohio defense is going to stand up a couple more times than the Toledo defense. We should see Ohio dominant on the ground. They love to run the ball. They have over 200 yards per game on the ground. I think they're going to tire down that defense for Toledo. They're going to take this one outright. I know they're getting points. I don't want those points. I'm going to take Ohio here on the money line as the first play. For the next play, we're going to be looking at another big game. Buffalo going up against Eastern Michigan. For Eastern Michigan, this is a pretty big game because they have 5 wins on the season. Everybody knows that you need 6 wins to be bowl eligible. So if they win this game, they are eligible. The good news for Eastern Michigan is that they play Western Michigan next week. I think they can win that game. If Western Michigan loses to Central Michigan on Tuesday night, Western is dead. Dead dog for the title game. We will have Eastern Michigan playing for a bowl game next week if that happens because Eastern Michigan is not winning this game. I'm going to play Buffalo here on the money line as the play. Buffalo is in a must-win situation right now. They're in second place in the MAC conference. They lose this game, they're done. Buffalo has also been the best team over the last 4 or 5 games in the conference. I know that Miami, Ohio, and Bowling Green have been pretty good all season long, but Buffalo is operating at another level. They don't have any sort of defense. That's the good news for Eastern Michigan. The good news for Buffalo is that Eastern Michigan doesn't have any defense. We should see a lot of points being scored in this game. I think Buffalo has potential to maybe put up a 50-burger on this Eastern Michigan squad because they have been scoring in bunches over the last 5 games. Buffalo is going to be the underdog in this one. Like I said, I don't want the points with Ohio. I don't want the points with Buffalo. I'm going to take them outright to win this game. Taking a look at their first couple games, this Buffalo offense is in full go, full force. They scored 30-plus points in 4 of the last 5 games. They bullied, and I mean absolutely bullied Toledo, winning that game by 15 points. They didn't have a great game going up against Western Michigan. It was a shootout. The defense played horrible, but the offense was still there. They put up 41 points. Then we have to go back-to-back games here against Akron and Ball State, where they had 41 and 51 points. This is a very good Buffalo team. They already knocked off a top 25 team in their own conference, Northern Illinois. Northern Illinois had that big upset win against Notre Dame, ranked in the top 25. Buffalo beat them next week by 3. We're going to see a balanced attack through the year and on the ground. Henderson has been really good for them over the last several games, and I'm taking my player prop, but I don't think Eastern Michigan can keep up with this Buffalo team offensively. I'm going to take Buffalo here to win this game outright. They're going to score a ton of points as the final play. Let's go to the player props. We're going to be looking at the same game, Buffalo against EMU. I just touched on this guy Alj Henderson, over 61.5 yards. I have no idea why this is so low. In fact, I'm going to double check to make sure I've got the line right because I am almost positive this has to be wrong. It was on Action on Tuesday morning about 8:30 a.m. 61.5. Couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe my eyes. So we're going to see what FanDuel has out currently. But while I'm looking at that, let's just break down Henderson here. This Buffalo team, they're clicking right now, right? They've gone 4 of the last 5 games scoring 30-plus points. A lot of that's been due to the quarterback play, but also a lot of that's been due to the running game. Henderson having 5 consecutive games where he's basically put this team on his back. Over just the last 3 games, he's seen a massive uptick in carries coming off a 27-touch game going up against Ball State. He had 126 yards in that one, 2 touchdowns. He also had a 107-yard game going up against Akron a couple days ago with 18 touches in that one. He's had 18-plus touches in 3 of the last 4 games, going for no less than 81 yards in any of the last 5 games. Early in the season, he was not used very much. He wasn't getting a lot of touches. His workload was down, but Buffalo has finally figured out that this guy can play football. They're finally figuring out that they need to give this guy the ball. That's what they've been doing over the last 3 games. He's been a big reason why the offense is clicking, and I don't understand why this line's so low, and we're going to figure it out right now. We have Buffalo going up against EMU. Let me get to the MAC action title. I've got a feeling this is going to be a wrong line. Henderson. Buffalo currently plus 1.5. Take them on the money line. We have AJ Henderson, 79.5. See, this is atrocious. 60 with 20 rushing yard difference. I still love the play. 79.5 is going to be the final play. But yeah, Action put out I guess maybe it wasn't the wrong line. Maybe it's been bet up all that way, but 79.5 is going to be the play for Henderson. For the next play, we're going to be looking at another running back. It's going to go back to that Ohio and Toledo game. We're going to be taking Anthony Tyus to go over his total yards. Ohio this season, they've had over 200 yards rushing per game, most of that because of the running back, and a lot of it because Parker Navarro. But Anthony Tyus is coming off his worst performance of the season. 32 yards, 1 touchdown, but he's going to have a bounce-back day here against Toledo. Toledo's giving up 33 yards per game on the ground. I'm going to go with his over 62.5 rushing yards. That's the final play. This guy's not a stranger to getting a heavy workload. He's had 138 carries on the season, closing in on 800 yards with 7 touchdowns. He's also been bottled up in the last couple games. One against Eastern Michigan. They did a really good job of the run game for the first time all season long going up against the running back. What they did not do a good job was stopping Parker Navarro. He had whatever he wanted in this game, running, throwing. He did whatever he wanted. Eastern Michigan lost by 25 points. Looking at the numbers for Anthony, he's had over 80-plus rushing yards in 3 of the last 5 games. The only other game he didn't go over his total was against Miami, Ohio. Miami, Ohio has one of the best defenses in the entire nation, not just the MAC conference, in the entire nation. So I think it's a good spot for him. Toledo is decent in the secondary. I don't think they're going to be able to throw too much against Toledo. We're going to see Ohio ground and pound the entire game, 25, 30, 35-plus run attempts in this game between Navarro and Tyus. I'm going to go with the over 61.5 rushing yards as the final play of the day. Let's go over to the recap graphic. We're taking Ohio on the money line going up against Toledo. We have Buffalo on the money line going up against EMU. We're going to take Henderson over 79.5 rushing yards going up against Eastern, and then Anthony Tyus over 62.5 rushing yards going up against Toledo as the final play. Guys, that's going to do it for the NCAA football plays and props for Wednesday, November 20th slated games. If you guys enjoyed the content, please share, drop a like on this video, and subscribe to the channel below. See you guys next video, and thanks for watching.